Hello, creative cooks. Welcome back to another episode of the Creative Phebe Cooks channel. I'm your host, Phoebe, and today we'll be making 3 gluten-free, dairy-free, and nourishing breakfast recipes that you can make this week to boost up your energy and nutrient levels as you get on with the start of your day. They include oat and lentil porridge, teff porridge, and a banana cocoa chia pudding. And I'd love to hear which one is your favorite in the comment section. First, I'll go through the process of making each of these recipes with helpful cooking tips, then dress them in the second part of the video to show you different and fanciful ways you can have them. As always, find full recipes on my blog using one of the links in the description box below. And with that, let's start cooking in voiceover mode. First is this oat and red lentil porridge, which takes less than 15 minutes to make from start to finish. Pour 70 grams of red lentils in a sieve and wash them under running water until the water runs clear. This is the same grain we used to make last week's vegan and high protein red lentil stew, and if you missed it, I've listed a link below for you to watch the episode and make some soon. Then pour the washed red lentils in a saucepan together with all the remaining ingredients except the honey, and those would include old-fashioned oats, not Greek oats, nut butter, cinnamon powder, salt, vanilla extract, and 500 ml of warm water. Stir these contents well and cook on medium to high heat for 6 to 7 minutes, stirring every now and again to prevent the contents from sticking to the bottom of the saucepan. Before deciding to film this recipe, I was looking at my food journal from last year and observed that I had this porridge literally every other day during the first quarter of last year, which explained why I often cruised through the mornings with a blast of energy and motivation. So, if you're in search for the perfect meal for breakfast to boost up your energy levels while supporting your well-being as you maintain an active morning or daily routine, this recipe is for you. So be sure to save it in your breakfast playlist. You're welcome. After about 7 minutes of cooking, cover the saucepan with a lid and turn off the heat. Then leave covered and undisturbed for about 5 minutes until the oats and the red lentils have softened and well cooked and the porridge has thickened. Then stir in the honey or your preferred sweetener, and we'll plate this after making the banana cocoa chia pudding. Next, we have teff porridge, made with the tiniest grain in the world and comes in both an ivory or a brown color. I'll be using the latter, and if you have never cooked teff before, this recipe is one of the most forgiving ways to ease your way into the teff recipe territory. So, let's begin. Pour 121 grams of teff grains in a mixing bowl. That would be about half a cup, depending on what part of the world you're in. Add in some fresh water. Stir this well, wash it with your hands, and set aside, covered or uncovered, for at least 20 to 30 minutes for the teff grains to soften before cooking. If you're like me, have the patience and desire to extract as much nutrients out of this tiny yet powerful grain before cooking it, I suggest you soak it for longer, up to 48 hours, after which they'll sprout, thereby making their nutrients even more available to you. I soaked mine for less than 24 hours, and here's what it looks like. Some sprouting occurred, and it would have sprouted even more had I covered the container overnight. So I suggest experiment with this. You got time? Make some time, maybe on the weekend. It's a nice project to experiment with. After soaking, stir well and drain the water and any floating teff grains. If you prefer, you can save these teff grains and sow them in your garden and experiment with this grain, see about it. Who knows, it just might be your new favorite crop to work with. Rinse once more, then add in 605 ml of water to the teff grains and transfer everything to a cooking pot or saucepan, ensuring that all the tiny teff grains make their way in, because these are tiny and they can be sneaky too. Just saying. Season with cinnamon powder and fine sea salt to complement the nutty and earthy flavor of the teff. Then bring to a boil on medium to high heat. This is a nice, slow process, not like oats or sorghum or millet. By the way, if you want to see me cook grains like that on this channel, please let me know in the comment section below. Cooking this porridge takes about 20 minutes as the teff grains slowly absorb the liquid. But unlike the oat and red lentil porridge, be sure to stir or whisk this one every now and again to prevent the teff grains from clumping. During this time, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this, and kindly share the link with a loved one who, like you, loves cooking wholesome recipes like this one. Thank you. And if you need any recommendations on getting your first bag of teff, I've listed my favorites below. Have fun cooking with them. Once the porridge starts to thicken up, bubble, and splatter, you know it's ready. Turn off and sweeten for taste. I prefer to add in the honey after cooking this teff grain to maintain the nutrient integrity of the honey, which also minimally thins out the porridge to make it easier to eat. Taste to adjust any seasonings, then we'll serve it later on. Thirdly, we've got the banana cocoa chia pudding. This one takes only 5 minutes to make. Easy on the digestive system and fills up your energy tank, so it's just right to make the night before so you can have extra unbothered time in the morning for a walk, listen to a podcast, or journal, whichever works for you. Start by blending the milk and the cherries. A great way to add more freshies to your diet, especially at the beginning of the day. Then pour the cherry flavored milk into a container and add in the chia seeds, hemp seeds, flaxseed powder, cocoa powder, cinnamon powder, honey, a pinch of salt to balance out the sweetness, and diced banana. If you're interested in more delicious and fruit-forward chia seed recipes, I've listed a recipe video link below to 3 of my favorite breakfast chia puddings. Excuse the background noise, the airplanes passing by. Thanks for understanding. Now, mix these components well with a spoon or a whisk to prevent the chia seeds from clumping up. Then close the container with a lid and store in the fridge for at least 2 hours or overnight for the chia seeds to plump up and the flavors to mingle. Alright, on to serving our porridges and pudding. For the oat and red lentil porridge, serve with a drizzle of your favorite nut butter. I've linked my recipe for this one below. It's a staple in my household, and many of you are loving it already. You may also drizzle on some honey if you need it, then sprinkle on a mix of your favorite seeds like pumpkin and hemp seeds. Sesame seeds and sunflower seeds work great too. You may also add a scoop of yogurt for a cooling effect. In fact, next week I'll be sharing my favorite gluten-free, dairy-free, and vegan yogurt recipe using the walnut and sunflower milk blend that I made in a few episodes ago. So, If that's something you're interested in, be sure to subscribe and turn on all notifications so you do not miss it. You are going to love it. Next we have teff porridge. I'm adding on a few dollops of my newest hemp seed butter I made over the weekend. Adding on a splash of milk, together with a few pieces of shaved coconut that I toasted the evening prior. The teff porridge is most definitely my favorite out of these 3 recipes. It's creamy, nourishing, and so comforting. How about you? Let me know in the comments below. I'm excited and I'm looking forward to seeing all of that. Here's what the chia pudding's looking like when it's ready. Serve it with a few slices of banana or your fruit of choice, hemp seeds, and some shaved dark chocolate. Don't hold back on this one. Go all in, be indulgent, and just love it all. Each of these recipes are perfect to make for the week with the help of my meal planners I've listed in the description box below, especially if you prefer batch cooking. But I suggest you consume these recipes within 2 to 3 days so they don't go bad. And that's it for today, Creative Cooks. 3 tasty, gluten-free, dairy-free, and nourishing breakfast recipes that you can make this week, tonight, tomorrow, whichsoever you are looking forward to boost up your energy and nutrient levels as you get on with the start of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and chat with you in the next one.